Whispering Forest of Hoia Baciu, Romania's haunted bedtime mystery. Tonight, we venture into a realm where reality blurs with legend. Hoia Baciu Forest, a 250-hectare stretch of ancient oaks and misty clearings just south of Cluj-Napoca, Transylvania. They call it Romania's Bermuda Triangle, a place where shepherds vanished with their flocks, ghost lights dart between twisted trunks, and time itself seems to drift off course. Draw a deep breath, let your eyes grow heavy, and join me beneath the moonlit canopy, if you dare. Centuries ago, villagers led their sheep into a clearing known as Poiana Rotunda. One autumn afternoon, a shepherd named Mircea lay down for a brief rest while his 200 sheep grazed. When he awoke, the meadow was empty. No sheep, no path home. That narrow track he'd followed only moments before had been swallowed by a swirl of leaves. Search parties combed the woods, but neither Mircea nor his flock were ever found. To this day, Hamlet elders whisper that the forest claimed them, as if it hungered for their presence and left no trace behind. Fast forward to September 1968. Military technician Emil Barnea drove his friends to the same clearing, camera at the ready, planning a lazy picnic. At midday, he noticed something strange, a metallic disc hovering silently above the treetops. He raised his camera and snapped 4 photographs, capturing a perfectly round object that reflected sunlight without any glare or heat distortion. No engine hum, no airflow ripples, only eerie stillness. Those 4 grainy images, published in local newspapers, ignited fierce debate. UFO believers hailed them as proof of extraterrestrial visitors, while skeptics dismissed them as a trick of light. Yet Barnea insisted he saw what he saw, an enigma hovering in silence, as real as the forest floor beneath his feet. Beyond vanishings and UFOs, Hoia Baciu's true power lies in its ability to warp human perception. Scientists have documented high concentrations of ferromagnetic minerals. Iron-rich ore veins crisscross the forest floor, generating erratic magnetic fields. Some visitors report sudden headaches, nausea, even nosebleeds. Others feel inexplicable anxiety, as if invisible hands brush against their shoulders. One study points to infrasound, sound waves below 20 hertz produced by wind through dense undergrowth. Though inaudible, infrasound can induce fear, disorientation, and a sense of impending doom. Yet these theories alone cannot account for reports of floating lights, phantom figures, and the eerie sensation of being watched. Consider the tale of Elena and her friends, amateur photographers who ventured into the forest on a damp spring evening. As moonlight filtered through drifting fog, they saw soft orbs of light dancing between trees. These ghost lights bobbed at eye level, weaving against the breeze as though guided by unseen hands. Elena's camera recorded them for 10 minutes, luminous spheres that vanished only when the group held their breath, as if the forest itself acknowledged their presence before slipping back into the shadows. Back in town, digital forensics specialists found no evidence of lens flare or camera artifacts, just pure, inexplicable glow. Step deeper into Hoia Baciu, and you'll encounter trees that defy expectation. Gnarled trunks twisted into humanoid forms, thick branches curving like outstretched arms, bark knotted into silent faces, frozen in perpetual watchfulness. Some believe these shapes are guardians, sentient beings woven from wood and earth, tasked with protecting the forest's secrets. As wind rustles through leaves, It carries faint whispers, voices you cannot place, syllables just beyond comprehension. One hiker later described it as the forest itself breathing stories into the night. In recent years, paranormal teams have returned again and again, armed with EMF detectors, thermal cameras, and audio recorders. On certain nights, they log sudden spikes in electromagnetic fields, bursts of static crackling from nowhere. Thermal footage sometimes catches chilling cold spots shaped like human silhouettes, lingering for a fraction of a second before dissolving into the forest's ambient warmth. During EVP sessions, recorders pick up soft murmurs, fragments of words that, when reversed, resemble Romanian phrases. Help me, find us, or stay away. But play them forward and they dissolve back into white noise. Hoia Baciu fascinates not only parapsychologists, but also biologists and geologists. Soil samples reveal trace amounts of uranium and thorium, remnants of ancient geological processes that have left the ground mildly radioactive. Certain mosses and lichens thrive in these conditions, glowing faintly under ultraviolet light. Dr. Arpad Kovac, a Romanian biologist, theorizes that low-level radiation, combined with magnetic anomalies and infrasound, might trigger sensory distortions, hallucinations of light or sound. But Kovac cautions that no single factor explains the full spectrum of experiences. It's the synergy, he says. These elements converge in a way that challenges our understanding of nature. Not all who enter Hoia Baciu remain lost. In one infamous 1973 case, 2 teenage daredevils entered the forest at midnight, vowing to stay until sunrise. They re-emerged 8 hours later, trembling and unkempt, claiming they had lost 14 hours of memory. They insisted they'd been chased by shadow people through a labyrinth of paths that seemed to shift behind them. No physical injuries remained, yet they spoke of unseen pursuers and impossible geometry. Trees bending at unnatural angles, clearings that appeared suddenly then vanished when they looked back. Even skeptics find this account unsettling. How to explain missing time, the palpable fear etched on their faces, and the absence of any logical exit route. Hoia Baciu's reputation extends beyond science and sensational headlines. It's woven into Romanian folklore. Some villagers believe the forest is a gateway to Strigoi, spirits of the restless dead. Others tell of a hidden court of woodland spirits led by a pale-haired queen who emerges only when the moon is full. Parents warn children to stay clear after dusk, lest the forest lure them with soft singing or beckoning lights. Even so, pilgrims arrive each summer, leaving offerings of coins at the forest's edge, small acts of reverence to calm whatever forces dwell beneath the leaves. Photographer Marco Ionescu spent 3 nights camping near Poiana Rotunda, hoping to capture the ghost lights on long-exposure film. On the 3rd night, as he adjusted his tripod, he felt a sudden chill. Warm summer air turned icy in an instant. He glanced up to see a pale figure standing between 2 trunks, its form blurred by distance but unmistakably human. Marco froze for 5 heartbeats before raising his camera. In the resulting image, a faint silhouette stands at the forest's edge, translucent as fog. When he reviewed it at dawn, the figure had no discernible features, only a vague outline that seemed to shimmer. Marco calls it, "The moment I realized the forest watches back." Can science and the supernatural coexist here? Some researchers argue that every phenomenon in Hoia Baciu can be explained by natural forces, magnetic fields, infrasound, low-level radiation, optical illusions. Yet countless eyewitness accounts defy neat categorization. When multiple independent observers report the same light patterns on different nights, when digital analyses show no camera anomalies, when trained scientists feel inexplicable dread, something in this forest transcends our current models. As astrophysicist Dr. Elena Popescu puts it, we're standing at the boundary of known physics. Hoia Baciu beckons us to expand our definitions of reality. But Hoia Baciu is not solely a laboratory of the unexplained. It's a place of haunting beauty. In spring, bluebells carpet sunlit glades, their violet petals shimmering like stained glass. Summer fireflies cluster among ferns, turning the underbrush into a sea of dancing lights. Autumn brings blankets of russet leaves, and the forest floor glows in gold and crimson. Even in winter, when frost etches each branch, the hush of snow amplifies every creak and sigh, making the woods feel alive with silent breath. As you listen, imagine your own footsteps on damp earth, the scent of pine and moss filling your senses. Feel the weight of history in every ring of a tree stump, the hum of unseen energy pulsing beneath your skin. Let your mind wander through moonlit clearings, brush past phantom lights, and glimpse the faces carved in bark. This forest invites us not only to observe, but to participate, to become part of its unfolding mystery. Hoia Baciu offers no roadmap, no neat conclusions. It is, in essence, a living question, an expanse where science, folklore, and imagination converge. Here, we accept uncertainty and learn to cherish the questions that have no easy answers. We surrender to the forest's whispers, knowing that some secrets belong to the night, destined to slip away by dawn. Thank you for joining me on this nocturnal voyage through the whispering forest of Hoia Baciu. If this journey stirred your curiosity, if you felt the forest's breath against your skin, then please subscribe and ring the bell. Your support brings new mysteries to light, step by step, story by story. Sweet dreams, fellow wanderers, and until next time, may your nights be filled with wonder and your mind remain open to the unknown.